So look, I am your typical council estate family, working class. You know, I had my first job when I was 12,
Right.
stuffing papers in the local corner shop on a Saturday and Sunday morning. So when I was 12, we used to get up at 4 a.m. on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and go and stuff papers. And I made like £10 a week,
Yeah.
gave a couple of quid to my mum,
Yeah.
and then kept the rest. But no, look, working class family. My dad was in a factory for 46 years. My mum was in Sainsbury's for 30 years. And I grew up with understanding the value of money and
Right.
understanding that if you wanted things, you had to go out and build it and do it. And also understanding that probably working 60 hours a week was a pretty normal scenario. My dad would go out at 7 and come back at 7, and my mum would always have dinner on the table, but she'd also have a list of 100 jobs for him to do when he got home. And, yeah, my mum was working at Sainsbury's, but she was also a cleaner and she was doing paper rounds on a Thursday night and that sort of stuff. And I can still remember that now, funnily enough, sort of
Mm.
getting into that detail. So, yeah, I think the value of money, we could never just have what we wanted. It was
Mm.
always we had to earn it or we had to do something. Even if we wanted some extra money, we could sell our own toys at the boot sale and
Right.
make an extra
Right.
like £1.50 each or whatever from what we were doing. But you know, as a basic for a basis for an entrepreneur to begin from, it's a great background to have
Mm.
because nothing has been fed to you and you have to go out and earn everything. And also, what I saw in that time was my parents worked very hard. If they were sick, they would go to work. If they had a certain number of holidays, they would never go over it. They always did what was right for the business. And whilst I would say they were treated reasonably by those organizations, they were for the dedication they gave to those
Mm.
organizations. They were never, never celebrated and they were never given extra things. It was just sort of part of the standard where you just go and you do what the man says you're going to do and you
Sure.
get on with it. And you have this sort of basic curve of go to work, go and work for 30, 40 years or whatever, and then pay into your pension, then get to your pension, retire and die. And for me, I was quite keen to get off that curve as early as possible because whilst there's nothing wrong with that,
Mm.
that wasn't going to be for me. And I could tell that from about the age of 10 when I knew I was going to do things my own way.